So if you've been around my channel for a while, or you've been around me for a while, you know that it's not unusual for me to be standing out in the rain doing something. But today we have a special reason. I think I found some bouncing bet. And no, I'm not talking about my puppy, although she has quite a bit of bounce to her. I'm talking about this plant. Bouncing bet, soapwort, fuller's herb, old maid's pink, latherwort, lady's washbowl. It's acquired quite a few names over the years. But why is it so special on the homestead? Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. So why did I pick a rainy day? Well, I wanted to see if this was really soapwort. And I knew that the rain on the leaves was the best thing that I could use to get a good lather. You see, it likes soft water a little bit better than hard water. I don't know if you can see that, but already I'm getting a lather. So I'm going to gather some of the whole plant because we can use the leaves, the flowers, the stem, the root. Now, unfortunately, we don't have flowers yet, but I'll show you a picture of how they look. From what I remember, mine are a double flower. They can be anywhere from white to pink, and this is what the leaves look like. And I'm going to dig some up so that we can see how to use it. So this is the soapwort that I bought, and this is the soapwort that I gathered. And they do look a little different to me, although they have similar characteristics. All right, so they do have, this is the one I picked. This is the one I bought. They have a slightly different look, although one could be from being grown inside and outside. This one's a little bit more tough feeling. This one's a little softer. But they do have the similar veining on the back with the 3 veins that it's supposed to have. Now, I have read and heard online that there's several different varieties, so I guess we'll just do a little bit of dissecting to see if they look like a similar plant. So we're not getting huge roots because this was probably a cutting that they rooted. Feels like I'm getting that feeling in here that this is like a cutting. So there is that original cutting compared to this. Has the same segments, same coloring under all that dirt. I don't know, guys. I know what my flowers look like, and they sure look similar. These guys are still short, so it's kind of hard to tell. Here's another one that I dug up. You can see this was a shoot, just kind of like mint. They send off little rhizomes everywhere. Which is what I'm seeing here. There's a little one just starting right there. It's going to start another little plant. And there's another one over here. Well, I think my next option is to try and see whether they lather the same. So we've just roughly chopped up the herbs, and now in both bowls. And now we're going to add a cup of steaming hot water to each of them, because I heard that the hotter the water, the more instant the results.
This is going to be one soapy tea.
Well, I won't be drinking this one because I'd be vomiting my guts out. Although I guess if you need to vomit,
I think this
is what you do. So don't let your dogs eat the leaves. It's really hot. So
Now we're gonna let it.
I'm going to let it cool a little while and let it steep a little while. So I let it cool slightly, only slightly. My fingers were pretty warm at first. Anyways, interestingly enough, this one is the one from the yard, and this one is the one from Richter's Herbs, which is known to be the soapwort for sure. And I have to say, I think the one from the yard is doing better. I should have showed initially because it started to soap and lather right away, whereas this one took a little more work. But it might just be because it's a younger plant. I don't know, but it is coming around now. So as you can see, I'm getting suds from both of them. Now this isn't going to be the kind of soap that you're used to or shampoo that you're used to. It's not even per se a soap because soap uses lye, but this is a natural cleanser that has been used for decades. No, centuries. It was brought to America by the pioneers and has since naturalized here, much like it did on this homestead. I think we can agree that they're both soapwort. What do you think? So the question is, does it feel soapy? Well, initially, the lather helps you to feel like you got some soap there. But it's not the usual, how would I describe, like slimy feel of soap? You know what I mean? Where you kind of have like a smooth, that's the right word, smooth. This is a little bit more like you can feel that it's cleansing, but it's still kind of watery. So I don't know if there's a way to concentrate that. Maybe additional boiling time or letting it sit overnight. According to Wikipedia, when bouncing bed is flowering, the root contains more saponins than soap nuts. So maybe picking it later in the year and using the root as well will help with that. Well, for my first experiment, I'm going to try washing my hair with it, and I'll show you the results. So the first thing I have to say is I just literally took those two bowls, combined them. I strained out with my fingers most of the leaf, and I had added a little bit of dried soapwort root that was ground up. So the first thing I'll have to say is I was like in, using survival mode. So if I had nothing but the pot that I heated my water up with, no cheesecloth, no sieve, no, shampoo bottle to put it in, that's the mode I was taking. So although I would not suggest this mode after having done it, you can. And if you had a lake to wash off in afterwards, you'd probably have no problem, or if you'd drawn a bath instead of trying to shower it out. I, however, tried to shower it out, and it took me a good while to rinse it all out. 2 tries. But I have to say, once it was all rinsed out, I could feel that it had cleansed. You can feel that about it, that there's like an astringentness to it. I wouldn't say that every last little bit of oil was out of my hair, but I think in the long run that's a good thing, because shampoos tend to really strip your hair of oil, and that's why we have to put in conditioner. So if that's all I had, I think it did a great job. I actually am considering trying shampooing my hair for a few weeks with it and seeing how it turns out, because I think that as my body gets used to the fact that I'm not stripping away as much oil, that it will probably balance out a little bit better. But yeah, it's not very oily. My hair beforehand was like 4-day hair. So good trial, it wasn't like it was freshly washed. So next, to try it on cleansing clothes. I know it'll wash hands, I know it'll wash my hair, but how will it do with my laundry?